What is discovery in a lawsuit? We're going to talk about the types of discovery and the purposes of discovery. I'm Mark Lyda from Lyda Law Firm. Let's get to work. In a lawsuit, discovery is the portion of the lawsuit where you learn what evidence the other side has. It's about discovering all of the facts that will be used for you and against you at trial. What are the types of discovery? There is written discovery and there is oral discovery. Written discovery consists of interrogatories, requests for production, and requests for admission. An interrogatory is a written question that one side asks to the other. So if the lawyer for one side writes down, "Where were you on the night of the 13th?" and serves it on the other side has to answer that question truthfully and attest to the truth of their response, and they have, in Colorado, 35 days to do it. Usually a party has 20 or 30 interrogatories they can ask to the other parties in a lawsuit. A request for production is a request for tangible evidence, like emails, documents, contracts, phone records, things like that. Again, you'll have 20 or 30 in a given lawsuit, and the other side has 35 days to respond to your requests for production. A request for admission is where the lawyer for one party will say, "Admit that all of the documents we've provided in this lawsuit are true and accurate," for example. And if you're responding to a request for admission, you have to say, "I admit that," or "I deny that, and here's why." You have typically 35 days in which to respond, and it's very important to make sure you respond to requests for admission, because if you fail to do so, the court can deem that answer admitted. So if the other side says to you, "Admit that you are at fault in this lawsuit," and you fail to respond, you run the risk of the court deeming your answer admitted. So that's written discovery. The next type of discovery is oral discovery. What we're talking about when we talk about oral discovery is a deposition. Depositions are sworn testimony, usually given outside of a courtroom. So, you'll be in a conference room, maybe you have just a court reporter taking a transcript, or sometimes they are videotaped. You can see many, many examples of them on YouTube, especially, famous celebrities being deposed. And those are sworn testimony, just like as if you were in a courtroom, but the lawyer can ask you questions, and they often take all day or sometimes even several days, and you're under oath, just as if you were in the courtroom. Keep in mind that quite often in a lawsuit, you give a deposition before trial, and you'll see the transcript and all of that, and then you'll also have to do in-court testimony once trial comes along, in addition to the deposition. Now, the other type of discovery is third-party discovery. The defendant can ask the plaintiff interrogatories, requests for production, depositions, requests for admission, all of that, and vice versa. But what if you want information from somebody that is not a party to the lawsuit? That's third-party discovery, and you do that through subpoenas. So a subpoena can be written or oral. In other words, you can ask for documents from a third party, or you can demand that a third party show up for a deposition, and that's similar to a party's deposition, except that this is a deposition of somebody who is not a party to the lawsuit. Okay, so what are the purposes of discovery? Well, the first purpose is just to see what the other side has. That helps you evaluate the strength of your own case. You might think you know all the facts, but when you get into discovery and you start to see emails you had never seen or bank records you had never seen, you might have a different idea about the strength of your case. That can inform whether you want to reach a settlement at mediation, or whether you want to go to trial because you think your case is so strong, or you might realize that your case is kind of weak and you don't want to go to trial. So assessing the strength of your own case is one of the major purposes and benefits of the discovery process. The other thing that discovery helps you do is prepare for trial. So you're getting all this stuff not only to analyze the strength of your own case, but also to use it at trial. These will be the exhibits that you'll want to put in front of the judge or the jury. And how do you get those exhibits in the first place? You get them through the discovery process. So those are the types of discovery and the purposes of discovery in a lawsuit. Now, there are a lot of fights that come out of discovery. You know, one fight might be if you fail to respond to a request for admission, it can be deemed admitted against you. Another one might be if you fail to respond to interrogatories, or if you fail to show up at a deposition, or you're not being honest in your responses, or you're not turning over everything you have, or you've destroyed evidence so you can't turn it over. The court has broad power to enforce consequences for bad conduct against you. So, for example, if you give untruthful answers or you've destroyed some evidence that the other side then can't have when they request it from you, one thing the court can do is have what's called a negative inference against you. So if you've destroyed the emails and the other side wants to say, well, we want to see your emails that you had with XYZ Corporation to show that you actually did agree to something, and you say, well, I don't have those emails anymore because I deleted them. One thing the court can do is impose an adverse inference against you. So that means if you have deleted or destroyed evidence so you don't have it to produce to the other side, the court might say, well, then I'm just going to find that what the other side is trying to prove from that evidence actually is true. And then you don't have a chance to defend yourself because the court has just deemed it true. So, you know, it's not a good idea to destroy evidence. It's not a good idea to play too many games in discovery or to try to hide the ball in an unfair way, because the court has powers to issue sanctions against you, like you have to pay the other side's attorney's fees, or issue an adverse inference against you, or deem the response to a request for admission admitted. All those sorts of things the court can do against you. The court can even dismiss your case if you have deleted evidence or done any of this bad conduct in discovery. So make sure to be honest and forthright in your discovery responses. So those are the purposes of discovery. So those are the types of discovery, the purposes of discovery, and some of the consequences for bad conduct in discovery. Thanks for watching this video, and please remember to click like and subscribe to help keep legal education accessible for small business owners.